Good morning. This is the Winform GTX program for the Moir Stakes meeting presented by Gary Robinson for www.horseracingaustralia.info. This is partly information and partly education for Winform GTX users on how to find things within the program. Okay, let's switch over now to the GTX program. And we are starting here with Moonee Valley Race 4. It's the Stud Stakes. So as you can see, it's 1,600 metres. We have a number of horses here with a 20-point penalty. So we will deal with those in time. Firstly, let us go to Crown Mint, and we can see the Winform runners highlighted, and that's based on its last start at Flemington, where it finished fourth, beaten 2.4 lengths over the 1,400 metres. Okay, our next horse in review is Luna Fox. It finished fourth at Moonee Valley over 1,500. That was behind Flash Flood. And then we move on to the next runner, which is Hollyfield. It has a 20-point penalty. Now, why does it have a 20-point penalty? Its last run was on the 29th of August. It's going to be the 26th on, it's be 25th on Friday. That's takes it to 27 days. So the reason it's got a 20-point penalty is because it's been 27 days since its last run. So we can have a look at second run in life. It had 25 days break and was able to win on that. And then later on it had a 21-day break and was able to win after that. So given its condition, and it was a winner last start at Rose Hill, let's take away that penalty so we can get a more correct rating for that horse. So to remove that, I just put it on the -20 here and take that down to a 0, and that'll give us a more accurate rating for the horse. Okay, that takes it to 0. Let's see how it sits now, and you can see it's sitting well on top. However, we've got to consider these other horses. Now, Glenfiddich. Okay, the reason this has got a 20-point penalty down here is because it's second up from a spell. If we look at the rating here on Caulfield on the 8th of February when it was second up, it could only run fifth, was beaten 2 lengths, and 58.2 is the rating. What we can do, we can choose that as our particular rating, and that gives us an indication of what it should do on its second up run this time. So we can take that 20 points off. Another thing you can take into account here, it's had 10 starts for 1 win and 4 placings, so it's been fairly consistent. It has been running in group races, so its last start was in a Group 1 behind Behemoth, and it was only beaten 2.3 lengths. Another good reason to take some of the heat off this penalty. Take it back to 0. And see where it sits now. And we find that Hollyfield is now rated $2.60 and Glenfiddich $3.50. We carry on and go to Cherry Tortini. Once again, it's a second up runner. It was third beaten 2.3 lengths behind Crosshaven in a listed race. That was on the 12th of September. Before that, had 3 wins in a row. As you can see, it followed up quickly after that. So there's, once again, no particular reason why we shouldn't expect this horse to improve at its next run. Indeed, it improved about 10 points in between its first run on the 27th of May and its second run a little bit later. So once again, we boost that horse up by taking away the penalty. It seems to be the logical thing to do. And of course, the fact that it's 1,600 this time and the last run at Flemington was a particularly good run, coming from 9th on the turn to finish 3rd. Okay, when we have a look here now, we have Cherry Tortini ranked in 3rd. You'll notice that the original 2 horses have gone right down to 5th and 4th. When we're looking at Iron Edge, we can see here that the horse has never won a race. The reason for the 20-point penalty is because the horse is still a maiden. So we apply a penalty to that. If we go to Flying Award, if we add the 20-point penalty back, it comes to 48.8. Doesn't have any influence on our top chances here. So the reality is, if we're looking seriously, we're going to see the 2 main chances here are going to be Hollyfield and Glenfiddich. And we're looking at what the pre-post assessment is at the moment. it looks like both of those horses can be backed and make a profit. Okay, looking forward now to race 5 at Moonee Valley. This is a Group 3. That's the Scarborough. Now what we can do here, basically we take all ratings as they are. There's no reason to change them because there are no penalties applied. All of these are bonuses based on the fact that their last runs or their qualifying run was on a slightly wet track, and the times and ratings have been adjusted to what they could potentially do on a good track. Yes, I know it's going to rain tomorrow in Melbourne, but nevertheless, that doesn't affect those ratings. Okay, Moonee Valley Race 6, we're looking at the JRA Cup. Once again, we've got lots of penalties applied here. The reason we've got only a 7.7 on Mirage Dancer here is because it would have got its rating probably was on a wet track and got a little bit of a lift, 12.3, to bring it up to the same sort of time rating as what it would get on a good track. Anyway, starting with Mantastic. Personally, it's not going as well as you would think. Its last run was a little bit better behind the Chosen One, but made up not a lot of ground in the straight to come from 7th to 6th place. Still beaten less than 2 lengths in an ordinary open handicap. It does have 5 wins from 21 starts. 1 run here at Moonee Valley, that was way back in August 18. And in that particular case, it was well beaten before going for a spell. Anyway, let's carry on. Mongolian Marshal. It ran the Balaclava Cup last start. Beaten 6 lengths, so would have to improve quite dramatically to figure in this particular race. We move on. Miami Bound is going okay. Its last run, couple of runs, it's been pretty bad. As you can see, it's been involved in the stewards' reports. Maybe there's an improvement there, but we won't worry too much about that. We've got to go on even its best performance. It rated only a 47, and that was back in February. Look at our next runner. Has got a 20-point penalty. Its second run after a spell. The interesting thing is Platinum Invader, where it's from New Zealand, and we go back to its second up run last time. It ran quite okay, but the rating, particular rating, was quite soft. So I don't want to make any adjustments at this stage to Platinum Invader. Its best run there was in Ellisy. That was back in January. That was a good 3 track and a Group 3 race. A very, very good rating. And in actual fact, if you take the 20-point penalty off for it being first up, on this occasion you can see it ran to up to that particular performance, less the fact that it was not yet fully fit. Okay. It took a while to wind up here, as you can see. Okay, looking at the next runner, it's Mirage Dancer. It'll be second up. If we have a look at it, second up last time, it only ran a 49.9 second up. So obviously we're not going to consider that, and no reason to scale back that penalty. If you're looking at Al Galil, the reason it's been pared back a bit is because its last run, once again, was on the 22nd of August. So it's going to be about 28 days again since its last run. But you can see there it won after 28 days last time. So Al Galil obviously can handle not having had a run for a while. So we might forgive that one and bring it back to a 0 penalty. The other thing is it's had 6 starts at the track for 3 wins, which is another good pointer. So bringing it right back, and let's hope it can do something today. So that puts it right on top. We've already dealt with those 2. And if we look at this one here, Vinda Dance, if we were to reverse the penalty on that one, you can see it will come up to a rating of 50. Still wouldn't be anywhere near Al Galil's 61.7. So I believe we have found our best prospect in that race, and we move on to race 7. Here, this is the Moir Stakes over 1,000. It's anybody's race, as you can see. We've got 5 runners there, all rated between a price of $6.50 out to $9.20. And all of those horses are over the odds according to this. Okay, it's a very, very competitive race is what it is. Moving on to race 8. This is the Group 2 Stock Stakes. Once again, we've got lots of penalties to look at. So starting at Princess Jenny, she's been disappointing. She's had 2 runs from the spell and done nothing. But if you have a look here, she only got beaten 2 lengths at Moonee Valley over 1600 on the 20th of March. So there could be some improvement in there, possibly. Okay, just moving right along now. Perfect Jewel is going well. Ran a good win first up. Second up was beaten 3 lengths over 1600. The class in this race is considerably less, being a mare's race. Okay, but has had not started at Moonee Valley before. Doesn't matter, we can get by without worrying about that. Its ratings back in Ascot, the peak one was 60.6, but that was way back on the 4th of January, so we keep the rating as it is. Okay, My Gold Bracelet, you can see it's only had a couple of runs here with very, very low ratings numbers. Spanish Reef is second up. Now, the interesting thing is here is it has had a win here. 6 starts this course and distance for a win and 2 placings. And you notice last time it was second up, recorded as 61.7. So what we're going to do, we're going to choose that 61.7 by clicking it, take away the 20-point penalty. She is 7-year-old now. That's a bit of a drawback, but regardless of that, she wasn't too bad, finishing only 3.5 lengths behind first up. And if you notice here, at Caulfield on the 8th of February was beaten just under 2.5 lengths first up. Also has the advantage of Mark Zara on the board. No better jockey than Mark Zara running around today, I can tell you that. Okie doke. So that brings Princess Jenny and Spanish Reef to the fore. Graysville Glamour, that's another one to have a look at. If we add her 20-point penalty on, we'll have a look and we'll see that the reason is that it's second up and over 1,600 metres. If we go back to this one, second up, she dropped quite badly off and only recorded a 48.6, but her run last start was very, very good. Now, I'm wondering if the reason it ran such a poor race was because it was on a slow track. We look down here, we get a clue, and it says good track, 17 starts, 4 wins and 5 placings. Slow track or wet tracks in total, 10 starts for only 3 placings. This makes it a little bit hard for us because we are expecting the track to be slightly off, but it may be at worst, being Moonee Valley Drainsville. I'm expecting at worst, it won't be any worse than a soft 5. And we can see here on a soft 5 at Rose Hill, it was only beaten 2 lengths, so certainly going to be competitive. Let's bring this back. I'm going to say let's bring it back 10 points. Okay, the other reason I'm saying that is because it's only got a hit rate of 15% wins. But then the other thing behind that is the fact that it's improves drastically on a dry track. So we're probably taking a little bit of a chance on that, but we've got her in rated at 3rd. So if you're taking a quaddie, you wouldn't want to leave it out. And then we look at Aristia, which if we add the penalty on, well, we can see the problem here. 27 starts for only 2 wins. Now, that's another reason for a penalty. This is a group race, remember. And this particular horse, this particular mare, obviously with only 2 wins, may not be competitive again. On the track, 3 starts for a couple of placings. So likely to place, but I'm not going to improve her rating at all. Sorry about that, but that's how it's going to be. So I'm going to leave her out. If I look at the next one, which is right in there, and this is the last horse we'll look at, is Benny Twart. Okay, first up was 69, second up was 60.4. Because the horse is running second up, we can use the second up rating. It was only beaten 1.4 lengths, even though it finished 7th. That was at Flemington in a Group 3. So we can use this rating, and we can take that out. It's only started once at Moonee Valley, and you can see that that was its first start here. Was pretty well beaten, but was slowly away, as sometimes horses are when they're resuming from a spell. But this is the right distance, and as you can see, she does rate better second up. Also, if you look at the stats here, on the soft track, it's had 4 starts for 4 wins. So if the track is rain affected, that could only help its cause, I would think. Okie doke. So there we are. Now we've got our top 5 runners. Perfect Jewel here is going to be the favourite, and we've got it listed as 5th rating. Graysville Glamour is rated 4th. It's the 2nd favourite, but have a look at this. Spanish Reef. It's looking like big odds for it, and Benny Twoit, or Benny Tweety. Hard to pronounce it, but you can see here we can sometimes get a good run. So we've got an interesting choice here going towards the quaddie. And look at this, Aristia. It's listed to be a likely favourite. It's only won 2 wins. Okay, we're going to close the session now. I do wish you good luck, and thanks for watching.